Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's plunge into financial obscurity in a symphony of scandal and severance. Recent disclosures have laid bare the precipitous economic descent of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the once vibrant scion of the British monarchy, formerly hailed as Prince Andrew. The figures, freshly unveiled, sketch a portrait of precipitous decline for a figure who once reveled in opulent palaces, commanded vast fortunes, and basked in the unbridled luxuries afforded by his royal lineage. Today, he confronts expulsion from his long-standing abode, divestment of his exalted honors, and a personal fortune so diminished it borders on the incredulous. This episode transcends mere footnotes in Andrew's chronicle of controversies. It embodies the visceral, unfolding repercussions of his tarnished reputation, manifesting in stark monetary terms. What amplifies the shock of this exposé is its impeccable timing. King Charles III has executed a calculated maneuver, severing the monetary tether that sustained Andrew through years of indulgence. Rechristened merely as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, he teeters on the brink of ouster from Royal Lodge, the sprawling Windsor enclave that has sheltered him for more than 2 decades. Insiders whisper of his inaugural public appearance post-title forfeiture, portraying a man gripped by trepidation and simmering resentment toward his unraveling fate. Yet, the pivotal inquiry echoing across drawing rooms and digital forums alike remains. What reserves does Andrew truly possess? Can these sustain even a shadow of his erstwhile grandeur? And what lies ahead as he navigates relocation to a far humbler, less illustrious dwelling? Prior to immersing ourselves in the staggering fiscal revelations, the chronology of Andrew's reputational erosion, and the implications for this beleaguered royal and his kin, consider this an invitation to deeper engagement. For unparalleled dissection of this evolving saga, replete with nuances absent from mainstream narratives, pledge your allegiance to comprehensive royal commentary. Activate alerts forthwith, for the labyrinthine turns and jaw-dropping disclosures yet to emerge promise to captivate and confound. Commencing with the centerpiece statistic captivating global discourse. Absent any overt revenue stream for years, evaluators peg Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's assets at approximately £3.7 million, equivalent to about $4.6 million. To the lay observer, this sum gleams as a beacon of affluence, rendering Andrew impervious to penury by conventional metrics. However, the true vertigo arises from contextual juxtaposition. This is the individual who once wielded dominion over tens of millions, inhabited a 30-room bastion of splendor, jetted across continents in bespoke aircraft, and orchestrated a cadre of attendants to orchestrate his whims. In this light, £3.7 million morphs from windfall to wreckage, a monumental implosion for one habituated to such stratospheric extravagance. To fathom the profundity of this trajectory, trace the arc of Andrew's earnings and their inexorable contraction. Archival records indicate his terminal public stipend crested at £249,000 per annum in 2010, a sum drawn from sovereign coffers. Yet, this constituted but one rivulet in a broader fiscal delta. Post-cessation of state subsidies, the departed Queen Elizabeth II extended clandestine disbursements from her personal coffers, underwriting his ceremonial obligations. Though veiled from scrutiny, conjectures from palace chroniclers posit these infusions at hundreds of thousands annually, fortifying her progeny against pecuniary peril while upholding his regal facade. Alas, tempests of infamy shattered this equilibrium. Andrew's entanglement with Jeffrey Epstein, the financier condemned for sex trafficking, erupted into public vitriol. Compounding the catastrophe was his November 2019 BBC Newsnight debacle, a fumbling defense of their camaraderie and retort to Virginia Giuffre's grave indictments, which instead amplified the inferno. Derision was swift and unsparing. By November 2020, Andrew capitulated, retreating from public engagements and heralding the twilight of his operational royalty. January 2022 witnessed Queen Elizabeth II's poignant decree, excising her son's ceremonial military bonds and patronage of charities, a laceration not merely emblematic but existential, amputating ties nurtured over lifetimes. Escalating eddies of outrage prompted Buckingham Palace to decree Andrew's relinquishment of the Duke of York appellation for public use, a mantle donned since his 1986 nuptials and synonymous with his stature. The coup de grace arrived in October 2025 as King Charles orchestrated a purge of residual regalia. No longer His Royal Highness, nor Duke, nor even Prince in nomenclature, Andrew devolves to a mere familial footnote, the sovereign's sibling in titular exile. These degradations exacted a toll both punitive and premeditated. ITV disclosures affirm Charles terminated Andrew's £1 million yearly stipend last year, a lifeline, sourced from the king's dominion or estate reservoirs, bankrolling his entourage, indulgences, and upkeep. Vanished utterly, it strands him with a solitary £20,000 naval annuity, scarcely surpassing the UK's median familial earnings, a pittance for princely pretensions. Should these unveilings ensnare your curiosity, attune to ongoing chronicles of Andrew's monetary maelstrom, forthcoming strata of astonishment await. Curiosity may pique. How does a £20,000 pension underpin £3.7 million in holdings? The crux resides in accretions from his protracted palace tenure and fiscal stewardship thereafter. A 2023 Guardian probe unearthed nearly £13 million amassed via Royal Vocations pre-2019, a colossal harvest from official emoluments, his 2001 to 2011 tenure as trade ambassador, and sundry ventures unlocked by his coronet cachet. Yet, this bounty begs dissection. Whither the windfall? How dwindles such a trove to £3.7 million for over 20 years? Royal Lodge has anchored Andrew's existence, a Grade 2 listed Windsor jewel, encompassing 30 chambers across 98 acres, rivaling palatial prestige. His 2003 75-year compact mandated self-financed restorations, devouring millions in upgrades. This haven, fortress, and fulcrum now dissolves under Charles's edict. Rationale blends pragmatism and parable. Streamlining for active royals precludes non-contributors from lavish legacies. Symbolically, exiling ignominy from grandeur underscores rectitude. The Times chronicled Andrew's 2024 entreaty, parading solvency to retain tenancy. I shoulder my burden sans subsidy. Yet efficacy evaporated. Eviction looms inexorable, birthing a peripatetic purge to a Sandringham estate domicile come 2020 Essex's dawn. The late Queen's Norfolk retreat, synonymous with Yuletide rituals, confers residual eminence, far from destitution, yet a seismic shrinkage from Royal Lodge's expanse and eclat. This transposition telegraphs demotion, etching Andrew's eclipse in estate contours. Speculation swirls that Andrew anticipates servitorial continuity in his diminished domain, a poignant insistence on entitlement amid austerity. Feasibility falters. A £20,000 pension, augmented by prudent £3.7 million yields, perhaps £100,000 to £150,000 annually, affords middling comfort, not the orchestrated existence of yore. Prudence whispers restraint. Hubris courts collapse. Psychologically, the barrage exacts a toll. Ex-BBC savant Jenny Bond depicts Andrew ensnared in fear and fury, dread of fiscal fragility, juridical aftershocks, societal shunning, ire at Charles's clemency cessation, press predation, self-sabotage in summation. Andrew's arithmetic, £3.7 million net, £20,000 pension, crystallizes a calculus of consequence. From £13 million royal reaps to settlements sinkhole, lifestyle's leviathan, and allowances axe, his ledger laments lost latitude. Relocation to Sandringham's subdued sphere signals not penury but poignant pairing, a private citizen's probation amid privileges' penumbra.